I just want to start this video by saying my bad. I'm sorry. I know this has been a long time coming. You guys have been looking forward to this setup tour for the longest time now. I haven't updated a setup tour since maybe like 2019, I think. So my bad. But yeah, we're here now. It's really hard because I'm always changing out my peripherals, my monitors, my like stuff in my PC. So this is, I feel like, a pretty good snapshot of what I've been using over the past like 2 to 3 months. And of course, this is my do-it-all desk. I do editing, I do gaming, I do streaming, all at this desk. So it has to do 3 different functions, and I feel like I've captured that within this setup. All right, so let's start off with the desk. Now this is an Uplift V2. It has the walnut top with the gray legs, and this is a sit stand desk, and it's very crucial to my setup because I'm always here, I'm always gaming, streaming, editing, so I needed to do a multi-function. So when I get tired of just sitting all day long, even though I have this in-body chair, I really like to stand up when I'm doing my writing for the videos or when I'm doing research, and sometimes even when I'm video editing. And I love this little lever on the Uplift V2 that I went with. It's like a paddle, so it goes up and down, and it allows me to get the same adjustment every single time. So when I'm gaming, I have it at a certain setting that I remember, and then when I want to have it standing, I can just kind of hit the paddle and it moves up and down, which is really nice. I haven't seen that in any other sit stand desk, so I really like that feature. So shout out to Uplift because they actually sent this out with the quickness after my last sit stand desk actually died. For the cable management, I'm just using an IKEA Signum rack. I really like this solution because I'm switching out my setup so much. It allows me to switch out components and wires with ease. I found with raceways, when I have everything tied up, it's just a pain in the ass. This is just a quick, down and dirty way of organizing your cables. It's not the cleanest solution, but it allows my cables to not be seen for most of my video shots, and it keeps most of it from hanging down low all the way to the ground. Now for the lighting, I actually use a couple of different lights. I do a combination of LiftX and Philips Hue. Kind of weird, but with Alexa I can control everything like it's on one system, so I don't have to go into 2 separate apps to change the color of my setup. Now on the back side of my monitors, I actually have the Philips Hue Goes, and it gives a nice splash onto the wall. Yeah, I have 2, one on each monitor, and these are connected via Velcro, and this just splashes onto my wall where I have the disc plates. These are the Marvel Profile. I'll link them down in the description. I know I get questions about these all the time, but these are actually metal posters that hang up by a magnet that you stick onto the wall. They have a very nice look to them. I love them. I'm a huge Marvel fan. You guys know from my old setup, I used to have comic book posters on there. So this is kind of a nice upgrade from the ones that I had before. So getting back to the lighting, on the back side of my desk, I'm actually using a LiftX light strip because the Philips Hue one, it only allows you to do one color, and I like that this allows me to get multicolor along the entire backside of my wall. So I kind of took out the light bars that I had before in my old setup, and I replaced them with those Philips Hues and then the light strip along the backside. That gives my desk enough lighting. With the light bars, it was just getting too crazy and it was just too bright all the time. So I like this setup a little bit more. It keeps my desk a little bit cleaner. Now all of this is pretty expensive, but it is worth it because I've had some cheaper options in the past and they just break down and LEDs are going out. So highly recommend you guys going with the LiftX for the multicolor and the Philips Hues for your monitors. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the setup, I want to talk about my streaming setup. So I get a lot of questions about what my like A cam or the camera that's on my face, well, that's just a face cam. That one is the EOS R, and it's going into a cam link. And guys, don't worry, I will have everything linked down below in the description. That goes without saying. And then from my top down, this is something new that I've actually done. I put my old A7S II. This was like the first camera that really like where I got my start on YouTube. So this is my top down. So when you see like a top down of a keyboard build, or you see me doing like some gameplay in a video, I'm using the A7S II. And that one again is going to another cam link into a USB on my computer. Now these are both held up by master mounts from Elgato. And then I have the flex arm for the A7S II to go overhead. I love these. And then I put a ball head onto the EOS R1 for my face cam, so I can get whatever angle that I want. These can be adjustable for whatever height you want. They go really high, so it allows me to have a lot of flexibility when I'm streaming. I love this setup, quick and easy. I just wanted something that looked good and had very high quality, and I always get compliments on the EOS R. I'm using a 15-35. Now this actually doubles as my like thumbnail camera as well, so it's a multi-function camera. So I just don't have these cameras, expensive cameras, just sitting up here. I actually use them for other usages in my production. I also want to mention that this is a 72 by 30 inch uplift, and this just gives me enough space for everything that I need on my desk. I can fit 2 monitors, I can fit my amps, I can fit my keyboard, of course, I can fit all this streaming stuff and my PC on the 72 inch. And it also allows me to get B-roll, like top down stuff, and have enough room and space and depth to cover and not have the monitors get in the way of my shots. For most people, I think a 60 by 30 would be plenty enough for a setup. So the monitors that I am using, I like to have 2 monitors because I stream all the time. Well, I used to stream all the time. But this is a multi-function setup, like I said. So I like to have my editing one to the left. So this is a 4K LG. I'll link it down below. I do all my editing, I do all my Streamlabs stuff on this monitor. My main monitor right now has been the Alienware 360 Hertz monitor. I was using a 27-inch 1440p for a while, until maybe like 2 weeks ago. And I just felt like it was just too big for Valorant, so I went back down to a 24-inch, and I was really grinding aim labs as well, and 24 inches is just way better for that kind of stuff. It sucks for content creation and research because the screen is so small, but I kind of deal with it just for the added gaming benefits. Now I did make a new computer, as this one can't hit 360 Hertz. But for the meantime, I am hitting around 240 Hertz or frames with this monitor currently. With the new setup, with the new PC that you're gonna see, that completely changes. So stay tuned for that. It should be coming within the next week or so after this. So those are the monitors that I'm using, and the mounts that I'm using for them, or the monitor arms, are the Ergotron. These are a little bit more expensive, but they are the sturdiest. I've had ones where it can't hold up the monitor's swinging back and forth. This one just keeps my monitors in place. I can adjust the height, the distance, so they're very flexible, and I like that more than having a stand on my desk taking up a ton of space. So invest in a good one and then call it a day. That's always been my motto. Just invest the money in something good so you don't have to buy it twice. I think I said this in my other video, but I think there's like a Chinese proverb that says the man that buys cheap buys twice. I don't know if that's a thing, but hey, I live by that. Anyways, moving on, I have been using these 2, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I love these Creative Lab Pebbles. They've never failed me. They're small, they fit under my monitor, they don't take up a lot of space, they sound really good. Most of the time I'm using my headphones anyways, so this is just when I want to, like, you know, do some B-roll or do some shooting around the office, and I just want to blast some music on Spotify. I'll just throw these on, play whatever music. It sounds good enough, and they only cost $20. It's actually insane, the value for those, and they've lasted me. These are the same exact ones that I've had. They're all banged up, and they sound just the same. All right, so speaking of audio, for my DAC amp, right now I'm using the Loxjai A30. This is a DAC amp. It sounds really, really good, and it powers all my headphones. This is an absolute steal. If you want something that just does everything all in one, this is your guy. I also have a budget audio setup coming out for you guys soon, so be on the lookout for that. But if you have the extra dough to spend and you just want an all-in-one solution that just does the job, can power everything, A30. So I was using a Scarlett for my microphone, which is the SM7B on a Rode PSA1, but it broke, and I always had issues with it until I went with the Motu M2. Now I got this recommendation from a friend, and it has not failed me yet. It's powered by USB-C instead of like a USB 2.0, which most mixers are. And this has a digital front-facing screen. It is really, really nice. Does the job. I've had no issues, no crackling. Sound is man, if you just want something that just runs smoothly, highly recommend the Motu M2. Do not make the mistake I did and many others where you buy a Scarlett Solo and it just breaks down on you. So moving back to the Shure SM7B, this is what I use for streaming. I don't really use it for too much voice work in my videos, but this just does a good job if I'm doing like voice chats or video chats or talking with friends or gaming. That is what I'm using. Now onto the PC. This one is getting updated because this is just unicorn throw up. I hate RGB, but not for the reasons you think. Not because it's colorful. I hate it because of all the software that is running in this PC. It's just a pain in the ass. And it's a pain in the ass because everything is conflicting with each other. It has really, I think, affected the performance of my gaming. So recently I just built a new PC that's like RGB-less, which you guys will see soon. I keep teasing it. So stay on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribed, all that good stuff. Anyways, this one, I'm just gonna give you guys some quick specs. I'll link all the parts down below that I'm using for it. It's a 9900K. It has a 3090 RTX from GeForce. It's a PNY, 32 gigs of RAM. I'm using a Lee & 011 Dynamic. This case has served me well. It's very easy to build in, looks very aesthetic. So if you guys are on the lookout for an easy build that's just like seamless and just works, there's plenty of room to build in. I love the case. It's just right now I'm just so tired of RGB programs in my computers. MLs on the bottom of the case now, which are double-sided. So people are always like, do you have intake or outtake on the bottom of your case? Well, I actually have them flipped where they're intaking air, but the RGB is still showing. It doesn't have those black bars like you would see on other standard RGB fans, which I really like. So highly recommend the Corsair LL120s, and I think it's like the ML120s. I'll link those down below as well. But yeah, this computer has served me well over the past 2 years for gaming, streaming, and video editing, so I can't hate on it too much, but it's showing its age, especially in my favorite game right now, Valorant. All right, then the keyboard of choice, you guys already know what it is. This is the Iron 165 Smith & Rune, has my favorite switches in it. The Gateron black inks are looped with Crytox 205 grade 0 loop. They're filmed, and I'm running the Oblivion V2 set on here. I love this keyboard, looks super aesthetic on my desk, has the badge in the upright corner. I'm a sucker for that. And then I'm running, if you guys just saw my mains video, I'm running the GSR Black OG edition. I've had it for years. And then I'm running the G Pro Superlight, G Pro X Superlight as my main mouse. And then I play Valorant a lot, so I need a super sticky, mud pad like the GSR. So that has been my main mouse pad for gaming. Now, another cool thing that I keep on my desk is this thing. So this is a cube. Well, it's like going off, but essentially this is like a working cube. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pomodoro. So when I'm working, it has 5, 15, 30, or 60 minutes. So what I'll do is, let's say I need to get some work done, I need to answer emails, or I need to video edit. I like to do it in short bursts instead of just sitting here for 2 hours. So I like to do breaks. So what you do is you just have 30, right? You put it down, and then it'll have 30 minutes, and then an alarm will actually go off. So this is always on my desk. I love this thing. I got this from another YouTuber. I can't remember right now, but yeah, you just put it down on the side of the number, and it's just an easy way for me to get work done and stay on track. And then I always have a candle on my desk. This is just a random candle, I think from like Bed Bath & Beyond, nothing too crazy. Then I have a lamp from Target with 2 Lifex bulbs in it, just to give some more light to the room. Then before I forget, my headphones of choice have been the HD 560s. They're very budget friendly. They're super comfortable. They remind me of the old HD 598s, which were one of my favorite headphones of all time. I switched to these because I felt like it gave me a really nice sound signature. I felt like the HD 800 series, the 800S and the 820s can just be a little bit too heavy and too big sometimes. And this, I feel like, strikes a nice medium between sound quality, lightness, and comfortability. Now, one cool thing I want to show you guys that you probably don't see in my videos a lot is I have this little charge station that I'm kind of tinkering with. I still need to tamper around with it and, drill some stuff into it, but this thing has been a lifesaver because as a creator, you have a lot of things on the ground, right? You have a lot of batteries, you know, for the cameras, for your monitors, for your microphones. So what I did was I made this little pegboard that has every single battery charger that I own on here. And this is connected to an Anchor USB port. So what I do is I just charge everything on the wall. And then I have two different holders. So one is one for batteries that are dead, and then ones that are full, so I can keep track of what's full and what's dead. Speaking of pegboards, I also made one for my keyboards. You know, when I first made it, people were like, oh man, it's gonna fall down, they're not sturdy. It's been here for a year now and it's perfectly fine. And I got this, of course, both of these from IKEA. I think they're called the Scatus. And I have these two little hooks on here, and they're very gentle on the keyboards as well, and it allows me to keep my keyboards on display. And I have some of my heaviest keyboards on there, and it's held up just fine. Like I have the Q on there, I have the new Rama M65B, I have my Bauer, and I have the KBD Fan 67 Mark II. These are just some of my favorite builds that, you know, I just want to glance over some time and look at and, you know, just enjoy their beauty. And the chair that I'm using is the M-Body by Herman Miller. This is the Logitech version. I actually like the original Herman Miller a lot more than this chair. This one has a little bit more padding. I'm planning on doing a review on it, but I just kind of use it because it costs so much money. I actually like the Herman Miller Aeron a little bit more, but this one does contour to your back, and there's just something about the seat. It's very flexible. Then I have a plastic mat on the ground so I don't mess up the carpet. Speaking of carpet, that takes us nicely into today's sponsor. All right, so today's sponsor is Roborock and their new S7 Intelligent Robot Vacuum. It's been an essential part of keeping my setup clean and tidy with minimal to no effort. I love it because, let's face it, for most of us, cleaning isn't at the top of our list of things to do. This is where an intelligent robot vacuum like the Roborock S7 can come in the clutch. Setting it up only takes a few minutes. You just set up the charging dock, you sync it with the app, and you're good to go. The robot will then do the rest of the work by roaming around and detecting your space, creating an entire map of your space. It can even separate your house by floors as well. You have so much control over the cleaning. You can draw lines around areas that you don't want it to clean. Let's say you have a bunch of cables laying around that you don't want it to get caught on. You can create no-go zones using invisible walls and areas. The new S7 features Roborock's latest and greatest sonic mopping technology, which scrubs the floors up to 3,000 times per minute on hardwood floors, eliminating dried up dirt from coffee and muddy footprints that some other robots leave behind. It allows you to mop hardwood floors and vacuum carpets in a single clean. It has an onboard water tank within the actual vacuum, which is pretty cool. It also has a finned all rubber brush, so gone are the days of those old bristle brushes that would get the hairs all caught up in it. You know, we've all been there where something gets jammed in there and you gotta like start ripping it out. There's none of that with this due to the rubberized fin. It's also got a washable HEPA type E11 filter that captures 95% of particles, including pet dander and mold. And this is something where you see the difference in your room, but you also feel it. The vibe of your room changes after this vacuum goes through your room. It can also be controlled by Alexa. The list of features just goes on and on, but like I said, my favorite feature of the S7 is simply that it just makes my setup look fresh and feel fresh without any real work on my part. So if you're like me, if you're always on the go, you're always doing something, you're always gaming, you value your time with your family and friends, then this is a no-brainer. And because Roborock is sponsoring today's video, they are also giving us a $50 coupon off the S7, so do you and your setup a favor and pick up one of these Roborock S7s. So that about does it for the setup tour. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions or I forgot to talk about something, just let me know and I will answer you in the comments. All right, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I think I already said that. It has been your boy BT saying peace.